Hi folks, Joseph Kursky here with you in our Mapping Our World course. Week 14 focuses on story maps. Story maps are web mapping applications. They're based on ArcGIS Online, which is a software as a service, web-based geographic information systems platform. And platform, as the name implies, means that you can build on top of it. Now, one of the ways that you can build on the existing platform is to construct story maps, which are multimedia maps that tell a story about an issue, a problem, a concern, a topic. It could be local, it could be regional, it could be national, it could be international. So multi-scale, multi-theme, you could incorporate audio, video, photographs, web maps, interactive web maps, and other text and other components in that narrative. Now, in this course, as you know, one of the themes is I don't want you to just consume and reflect upon other people's maps. I actually want you to make your own maps, mapping our world. And part of that goal is for you to see how story maps exist and how they're used in various sectors of society: transportation, social work, health, energy, and many other topics. But I also want you to make your own, and that's the focus of this week. I want you to think carefully about the story that you want to tell. Now, you and I love the technology, right? The mapping technology. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here in this course. There's all kinds of really interesting, fascinating, and cool things that you can do with these mapping technologies thanks to web-based geographic information systems. But just like when you go into the field and collect data, for example, you don't just plunge into the field and say, well, I might collect trees, I might collect trash, invasive species, water quality. No, you have a plan. And you think about what kinds of units you're going to use, meters, feet, etc., what kinds of measures you're going to use, what kind of instruments you're going to use to collect the data, how you're going to serve the data once you collect it, how you're going to analyze the data, so how you're going to set up your spreadsheets, all that kind of stuff. You do some careful planning before you go out into the field. Same thing with making story maps. It's tempting, I know, I like the tools as well. It's tempting to just plunge in and say, wow, here's an express map that I can use, and here's a web map that I can use, and here's some text that I can use, and here's some data that I can use in my story map. Well, you need to be thoughtful about how you're going to create it, and even before that, what story you're going to tell, what scale, what themes, what you want your user to take away from the story that you're going to tell. Do they need to take action? Do you want them to take action once they learn about the topic that you're going to explain? So careful planning is key to any worthwhile endeavor, right? Including story maps. Story maps are just one way of communicating the results of your spatial-based research. In other words, the whys of where kind of research. There are many ways to communicate with mapping tools. There's the web maps themselves. There's the results from tools like Web App Builder, Experience Builder, there's ArcGIS Hub, there's infographics. There's lots of ways to communicate, story maps just being one of them, but they're extremely popular over, as the time of this video is being made, over 1.75 million million story maps have been created by a wide variety of people of all ages, from local to global, and thousands more are being created each day. You are going to be creating your own story maps in this week, week 14 of our Mapping Our World course. And I want you to think carefully about it, and I want you to have fun with it. I want you to explore some things that you could do. I want you to reflect and look at what other classmates of yours are doing. And your maps don't have to be perfect, but they need to be on a topic that ideally, I think, would be good for you to pursue in the future past this course. Think about something that you're really passionate about beyond this course. Maybe think about making a story map about that. That's not always possible, I realize, and sometimes you need to just get through the assignment. I understand all that stuff, but ideally, it would be something that you'd actually pursue after this. Now, I communicate in lots of ways with my own work in GIS education. So I use Prezi, I use PowerPoint, I use Microsoft Sway, I use Keynote. I use a lot of different tools, videos like this one, but I oftentimes use story maps when I'm presenting a workshop, a keynote address, the results of my curriculum development. I oftentimes communicate that with story maps. So story maps, I actually use them quite a bit in my own work. And more importantly, other people do as well. So the United Nations, the Sustainable Development Goals, they've got story maps because they want to communicate about the Sustainable Development Goals. Your own local government is using story maps to communicate about issues in your community, about an urban greenway or a new proposed park or different land use, zoning changes proposed, whatever. The point is, people are using these to communicate, and maps have always been used as great communication devices. Nowadays is no different, except that we've got lots of different ways to easily create these. And again, you're the map maker. You are a cartographer, and you're going to be making story maps here in week 14. So I hope you enjoy it. Mr. Cardo, why don't you come to your senses? Mapping trails and fences for so long now. Oh, it's a hard job. I know that you've got your reasons. We'll see you in the course, folks. Thanks.